Welcome back. I wanted to give you a couple ideas of some things that you can do at home with your kids to help improve communication. It turns out that we all have a very limited amount of stress that we can take. Everybody's threshold for stress is a little bit different, but that window of tolerance that you have can grow or can shrink depending on who you are, your background, the kind of day that you're having. And for most people, questions add stress, so you can quickly get to the end of the limit, of what you can take of stress. Most kids don't do very well with questions, and if you ask them a lot, they'll usually go into a brain mode where they're just trying to figure out what you need, and then they'll just sort of get you out of there. I don't know, I don't remember nothing, or whatever. This is a game that is made with some popsicle sticks. And it's a great way to get kids to communicate with you in a way that feels fun. When we feel stressed, then we don't have fun. But when we're having fun, it relieves stress and it buffers stress. So this is a good way to do that and to get your kids to feel like it's okay to communicate. So this game, I just call it feelings thermometers. And all that it is, on one side, there's some things that look kind of like a thermometer with some numbers. And then on the other side is a feeling. And I keep these in kind of a pencil bin. You can do it however you'd like to. You can mix them up and choose one at random, or you can look at them and just choose one that you'd like to choose. And I'm going to go back to the one I had, which is jealous. So when I choose that one, now I have to share a story about a time that I felt jealous. When I was probably 8 or so, maybe 9, I remember really wanting to have the Millennium Falcon for Christmas, and my brother ended up getting it, and I was very jealous that he got it because I really wanted it. So I felt jealous. So now I have to go to the other side and then look at these numbers and decide how much jealous did I feel. So if it's a 1, it's there, but it's not much. It's almost a 0. If it's a 5, I felt it. It was something I could tell was happening, but it wasn't overwhelming. If it was a 10, it would be the most I've ever felt in my life. So you won't have very many 10s. And if you notice that your kids do, then that's an area that you can focus on a little bit and find out if there are any differences between those 10s. Sometimes kids experience feelings as so big, they just will call things a 10 even when they're not. So sometimes it takes practice just playing this to get the idea that not all feelings are a 10. So then it would be someone else's turn and they would choose. And so then let's see what they'll get. Oh, this one says surprised. And then they tell a story of a time they felt surprised. And then they have to decide how much surprised did they feel. One variation you can do with this is to have everybody, while they're taking their turn, everybody else tries to guess what that person's going to say is their number. So that is a way, too, that you can try to tune into each other with what each other's feeling and thinking. So just a good way to get some communication going, to share some stories about your life and your experiences, and that it doesn't have a lot of questions. It's just safe to do and it's fun. Here's one other one that you can do, and this one is called Color My Feelings, and you can do this in a lot of different ways. I am going to draw this, and I'm going to use some markers to show you. I'm going to use some paper. I have a clipboard here. You don't have to use a clipboard. You can just use any paper that you want to. I am going to draw a circle. Now, you don't have to draw a circle. You don't even have to have a shape. You could just have a piece of paper. I'm drawing a circle just so there's sort of a boundary or a container for this. And you can do heart, square, triangle, whatever you like. What I would do is then ask the person I'm playing this with to think about feelings they had in the last maybe day or couple days. With kids, they tend not to be able to remember much past that. If you ask them for the last week, some of them could do it, some of them can't. And if you go beyond that, they just can't. It's just too long. So what we do next is to just think about different feelings that you had and to choose a color for that feeling and then to fill in the amount that you had of that feeling. So if I think about a feeling that I had this week. I'm going to choose a color for it, and I'm going to choose purple for nervous. A little bit nervous. I felt some nervous feelings this week. So I'm going to color that in for how much of a nervous feeling I felt this week. It was that much. Then you might find out, gosh, I wonder what made you feel nervous like that. And then maybe they'll tell you a quick story and you might write it in there. Oh, we were late for school. So we're just writing that on there. So what's another feeling that you had, in the last couple days or whatever? Oh, I had happy, and I'm going to choose yellow for happy. Colors don't have to have meaning in this game. It's just what people choose. So I pretty much felt happy, mostly. So I'll draw about that much happy. Maybe you can't see that quite as well, but then if I'm asking, so what was something that made you happy? Well, I got to do a lot of fun things that I really liked in the last couple days, and that was a lot of fun. So when you play this game, this becomes a way that you can check in with your kids, and you can get a really fast sense of what kind of feelings they're having the most of. If you do it more than once, you can kind of go back and compare and contrast, and it gives you a way to see how they experience things, how they experience the world. And it's a great way for them to show you without having to do a lot of talking about it or explaining. You can look at it and just see what's there and get a good sense about it. So I hope you have fun playing those games with your kids, and I hope it will feel free and they can experience sharing things with you in a way that maybe they haven't before. So enjoy them, and I hope to see you soon. All the best to you.